Who doesn't like bright colors, bright light, the celebration, the sweets, the delicacies of India? Who doesn't like the festival of health, prosperity, wealth, and well being all over? The victory of good over evil, the light of hope in the darkness. Who doesn't like Diwali? Diwali is celebrated all over India, not only in Hinduism, also in other religions, and there are different ways of celebrating Diwali in the other religions. This episode is all about Diwali, India's biggest and the greatest festival, also known as the Festival of Lights. So, why Diwali is celebrated? What's the reason behind celebrating Diwali? Diwali or Deepavali. This is the Hindu festival of lights with its variations, also celebrated in other Indian religions. It symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. Diwali is celebrated during the Hindu lunisolar months of Ashwin and Kartik, between around mid-September and mid-November. The Hindu calendar, also called Panchang, is one of various lunisolar calendars that are traditionally used in the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia, with further regional variations for social and Hindu religious purposes. The month Ashwin or Ashvayuj is the 7th month of the lunisolar Hindu calendar, and Kartik is the 8th month of Hindu calendar, which falls in October and November of the Gregorian calendar. In India's national civil calendar, Kartik is the 8th month of the year, beginning on 23rd October and ending on 21st November. Diwali is connected to various religious events, deities, and personalities, such as being the day Ram returned to his kingdom in Ayodhya with his wife Sita and his brother Lakshman after defeating the demon king Ravan. It is also widely associated with Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, and Ganesha. So, Ram. Ram is a major deity in Hinduism. He is the 7th and one of the most popular avatars of Vishnu. And in traditions of Hinduism, he is considered the supreme being. Sita, also known as Sia, Janki, Mathili, Vaidehi, and Bhumija, is a Hindu goddess and the female protagonist of the Hindu epic Ramayana. She is the consort of Ram, the avatar of God Vishnu, and is regarded as a form of Vishnu's consort Lakshmi. Lakshman, the younger brother of Ram, and his loyalist in the Hindu epic Ramayana. Ravan. Ravan is considered a multi-headed Rakshas king of the island of Sri Lanka, and the chief antagonist in the Hindu epic Ramayana. In the Ramayana, Ravan is described as the eldest son of sage Vishrava and Kakasi. He abducted Shri Ram's wife, Mata Sita, and took her to his kingdom of Sri Lanka. Shri Ganesh, the god of wisdom and the remover of obstacles. Other regional traditions connect the holiday to Vishnu, Krishna, Durga, Shiv, Kali, Hanuman, Kuber, Yam, Yami, Dharmantari, or Vishwakarma. Primarily a Hindu festival, variations of Diwali are also celebrated by adherents of their faiths. The Jains observe their own Diwali, which marks the final liberation of Mahavir. The Sikhs celebrate Bandi Chhor Divas to mark the release of Guru Har Gobind from a Mughal prison. Newar Buddhists, unlike other Buddhists, celebrate Diwali by worshipping Lakshmi, while the Hindus of Eastern India and Bangladesh generally celebrate Diwali by worshipping the goddess Kali. During the festival, the celebrants illuminate their homes, temples, and workspaces with diyas, oil lamps, candles, and lanterns. Hindus in particular have a ritual oil bath at dawn on each day of the festival. Diwali is also marked with fireworks and the decoration of flowers with rangoli designs. Rangoli is an art form that originates in the Indian subcontinent in which patterns are created on the floor or a tabletop using materials such as powdered limestone, dry rice flour, colored sand, quartz powder, etc. Even flower petals and colored rocks. And it is an everyday practice in many Hindus. So, with rangolis, jhalars are also used. Jhalar is a long, thin strip of colorful fabric used for decoration, mostly in India. Also, jhalars are considered as lights, a kind of rope lights used for decorations in India. Food is a major focus with families partaking in feasts and sharing mithai. Now, what's mithai? Mithai are actually sweets, the confectionery and desserts of the Indian subcontinent. Thousands of dedicated shops in India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka sell nothing but sweets. The festival is an annual homecoming and bonding period not only for families but also for communities and associations, particularly those in urban areas, which will organize activities, events, and gatherings. Many towns organize community parades and fairs with parades or music and dance performances in the parks. Some Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs will send Diwali greeting cards to family near and far during the festive season, occasionally with boxes of Indian confectionery and sweets. Another aspect of the festival is remembering the ancestors. Etymology means the origin and history of the name Diwali. Diwali is also known as Deepavali, and this word comes from the Sanskrit word Deepavali, meaning row or series of lights. The term is derived from the Sanskrit words deep, meaning lamp, light, lantern, candle, that which glows, shines, illuminates knowledge, and avli, a row, range, continuous line series. Dates of Diwali. The celebration is observed every year in early autumn after the conclusion of the summer harvest. It coincides with the new moon, Amavasya, and is deemed the darkest night of the Hindu lunisolar calendar. Now, what's Amavasya? Amavasya is the lunar phase of new moon in Sanskrit. Indian calendars use 30 lunar phases called Tithi in India. The dark moon Tithi is when the moon is within 12 degrees of the angular distance between the sun and moon before conjunction. The darkest night is the apex of the celebration and coincides with the second half of October or early November in the Gregorian calendar. Do you know what's a Gregorian calendar? Okay, let me tell you. The Gregorian calendar is the calendar used in most parts of the world. It went into effect in October 1582 following the papal bull Inter Gravissimus issued by Pope Gregory XIII, which introduced it as a modification or the replacement for the Julian calendar. Simply, the calendar which is used these days are a Gregorian calendar, the January, February, March, April thing. The festival climax is on the third day and is called the main Diwali. It is an official holiday in a dozen countries, while the other festive days are regionally observed as either public or optional restricted holidays in India. In Nepal, it is also a multi-day festival, although the days and rituals are named differently, with the climax being called the Tihar festival by Hindus and Swanti festival by Buddhists. Let's discuss the history of Diwali. This festival is originated in the Indian subcontinent and is likely a fusion of harvest festivals in ancient India. It is mentioned in early Sanskrit texts such as Padma Puran and Skanda Puran, both of which were completed in the second half of the first millennium CE. So, what's Padma Puran? Padma Puran is one of the 18th major Purans, a genre of texts in Hinduism. It is an encyclopedic text named after the lotus in which creator god Brahma appeared and includes large sections dedicated to Vishnu as well as significant sections on Shiva and Shakti. Skanda Puran. The Skanda Puran is the largest Mukhya Puran, a genre of 18th Hindu religious texts. The text contains over 81,000 verses and is of Shaivite literature, titled after Skand, a son of Shiv and Parvati. While the text is named after Skand, he does not feature either more or less prominently. So, the diyas, lamps, are mentioned in Skanda Kishore Puran as symbolizing parts of the sun, describing it as the cosmic giver of light and energy to all life and which seasonally transitions in the Hindu calendar month of Kartik. Emperor Harsha refers to Deepavali in the 7th century Sanskrit play Naganand as Deep Pratipadotsav, where lamps were lit and newly engaged brides and grooms received gifts. Rajshekhar referred to Deepavali as Deep Malika in his 9th century Kavya Mimamsa, wherein he mentions the tradition of homes being whitewashed and oil lamps decorated homes, streets, and markets in the night. Diwali is also described by numerous travelers from outside India. In his 11th century memoir in India, the Persian traveler and historian Al-Biruni wrote of Deepavali being celebrated by Hindus on the day of the new moon in the month of Kartik. The Venetian merchant and traveler Niccolo di Conti visited India in the early 15th century and wrote in his memoir, on another of these festivals, they fix up within their temples and on the outside of the roofs an innumerable number of oil lamps, which are kept burning day and night, and that the families would together clothe themselves in new garments, sing and dance and feast. The 16th century Portuguese traveler Domingo Paes wrote of his visit to the Hindu Vijayanagara Empire, where Deepavali was celebrated in October with householders illuminating their homes and their temples with lamps. Now, what's Ramayana? Ramayana is a Sanskrit epic from ancient India, one of the two important epics of Hinduism known as the Itihas, the other being the Mahabharata. The epic, traditionally ascribed to the Maharshi Valmiki, narrates the life of Ram. Islamic historians of the Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Empire era also mention Diwali and other Hindu festivals. A few, notably the Mughal Emperor Akbar, welcomed and participated in the festivities, whereas others banned such festivals as Diwali and Holi as Aurangzeb did in 1665. Publications from the British colonial era also made mention of Diwali, such as the Note on Hindu Festivals published in 1799 by William Jones, a philologist known for his early observations on Sanskrit and Indo-European languages. In his paper on the lunar year of the Hindus, Jones, then based in Bengal, noted 4 of the 5 days of Diwali in the autumn month of Ashwin Kartik as the following: Bhut Chaturdashi Yam Terpanam, Lakshmi Puja Deepanvita, Dyut Pratipat Beli Puja, and Bhratri Dvitiya. The Lakshmi Puja Deepanvita, remarked Jones, was a great festival at night in honor of Maa Lakshmi, with illuminations on trees and houses. Also, Diwali marks Lord Ram's return to Ayodhya with Maa Sita and Lord Lakshman after spending 14 years in exile and defeating the king of Lanka, Ravan. Hindus celebrate Diwali for various reasons. The festival celebrates the country's cultural heritage and is observed all over the country. Even Indians outside the country mark the festival, making it a unifying celebration. It is also the time of the year when families come together. Diwali also marks a victory of good over evil and light over darkness. Epigraphy means the study and interpretation of ancient inscriptions. Sanskrit inscriptions in stone and copper mentioning Diwali, occasionally alongside terms such as Deepotsav, Deepavali, Diwali, and Diwali, have been discovered at numerous sites across India. Examples include a 10th century Rashtrakut Empire copper plate inscription of Krishna 3, 939 to 967 C that mentions Deepotsav, and a 12th century mixed Sanskrit Kannada Sindh inscription discovered in the Iswara temple of Dharwad in Karnataka, where the inscription refers to the festival as a sacred occasion. According to Lorenz Franz Kehlorn, a German Indologist known for translating many Indic inscriptions, the festival is mentioned as Deepotsavam in verses 6 and 7 of Ranganath Temple, Sanskrit inscription of the 13th century Vinad Hindu king Ravi Varman Sangramadhira. Vinad was a medieval kingdom lying between the Western Ghat Mountains and the Arabian Sea on the southwestern tip of India, with its headquarters at the port of city Kollam. It was one of the major principalities of Kerala, along with kingdoms Kannur, Kozhikode, and Kochi. Part of the inscription, as translated by Keelhorn, reads, "The auspicious festival of lights which disperses the most profound darkness, which in former days was celebrated by kings La, Kartavirya, and Sagar, as Indra is of the gods, the universal monarch who knows the duties by the three Vedas. Afterwards celebrated here at Ranga for Vishnu, resplendent with Lakshmi resting on his radiant lap." Jain inscriptions such as the 10th century Sondati inscription about a donation of oil to Jinendra, worship for the Diwali rituals, speak of Dipotsav. Another early 13th century Sanskrit stone inscription written in the Devanagari script has been found in the north end of Mosque Pillar in Jalore, Rajasthan, evidently built using the materials from a demolished Jain temple. The inscription states that Ramchandracharya built and dedicated a drama performance hall with a golden cupola on Diwali. Let's talk about the religious significance. The religious significance of Diwali varies regionally within India. One tradition links to the festival of the Hindu epic Ramayana, where Diwali is the day Ram, Sita, Lakshman, and Lord Hanuman reached Ayodhya after a period of 14 years in exile, after Ram's army of a good defeated demon king Ravan, army of evil. Throughout the epic, Shri Ram's decisions were always in line with dharma, duty, and Diwali festival serves as a reminder for followers of Hinduism to maintain their dharma in day-to-day life. Now, as per another popular tradition, in the Dwapar Yuga period, Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu, killed the demon Narkasur, who was the evil king of Pragjotishpura, near present-day Assam, and released 16,000 girls held captive by Narkasur. Diwali was celebrated as a signifier of triumph of good over evil after Krishna's victory over Narkasur. The day before Diwali is remembered as Nark Chaturdashi, the day on which Narkasur was killed by Krishna. Diwali is also associated with goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity and wife of Shri Vishnu. The start of the 5-day Diwali festival is stated in some popular contemporary sources as the day goddess Lakshmi was born from Samudra Manthan, the churning of the cosmic ocean of milk by the Devs and the Asurs. Devs were gods and Asurs demons. A Vedic legend that is also found in several Purans such as the Padma Puran, while the night of Diwali is when Lakshmi chose Shri Vishnu for the wedding. Along with Mata Lakshmi, who is representative of Vaishnavism, Shri Ganesh, the elephant-headed son of Parvati, and Shiva of Shaivism tradition, is remembered as one who symbolizes ethical beginnings and the remover of obstacles. Hindus of eastern India associate the festival with the goddess Kali, who symbolizes the victory of good over evil. Hindus from the Braj region in the northern India, parts of Assam, as well as the southern Tamil and Telugu communities view Diwali as a day of God Krishna overcome and destroyed the evil demon Narkasur. In yet another symbolic victory of knowledge and good over ignorance and evil, trade and merchant families and others also offer prayers to Maa Saraswati, who embodies music, literature, and learning, and Shri Kuber, who symbolizes bookkeeping, treasury, and wealth management. In western states such as Gujarat and certain northern Hindu communities of India, the festival of Diwali signifies the start of a new year. Tales shared on Diwali vary widely depending on region and even within Hindu tradition. Yet all share a common focus on righteousness, self-inquiry, and the importance of knowledge, which, according to Lindsley Harlan, an Indologist and scholar of religious studies, is the path of overcoming the darkness of ignorance. The telling of these tales are reminiscent of Hindu belief that good ultimately triumphs over evil. Other religions. Originally a Hindu festival, Diwali has transcended religious lines. Diwali is celebrated by Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, and never Buddhists. Although, for each faith, it marks different historical events and stories. But Nonetheless, the festival represents the same symbolic victory of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, and good over evil. Let's talk about the Jainism Diwali. The scholars Jain and Nivethan states that the Jain tradition, this Diwali is celebrated in observance of Mahavir Nirvan Divas, the physical death and final nirvana of Mahavir. Mahavir, also known as Vardhaman, was the 24th Tirthankar of Jainism. He was the spiritual successor of the 23rd Tirthankar Parshvananth. Mahavir was born in the early part of the 6th century BC into a royal Kshatriya Jain family in ancient India. The Jain Diwali celebrated in many parts of India has similar practices to the Hindu Diwali, such as the lighting of lamps and the offering of prayers to Lakshmi. However, the focus of the Jain Diwali remains dedication to Mahavir. According to the Jain tradition, the practice of lighting lamps first began on the day of Mahavir's Nirvana in 527 BC, when 18 kings who had gathered for Mahavir's final teachings issued a proclamation that lamps be lit in remembrance of the great light, Mahavir. This traditional belief on the origin of Diwali and its significance to Jains is reflected on their historic artworks and paintings. Diwali in Sikhism. Sikhs celebrate Bandi Chhod Divas in remembrance of release of Guru Har Gobind from the Gwalior fort prison by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir and the day he arrived at the Golden Temple in Amritsar. So, who was Har Gobind? Guru Har Gobind was the sixth of 10 gurus of Sikh religion. He had become Guru at the young age of 11 after the execution of his father, Guru Arjan, by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. According to J.S. Grewal, a scholar of Sikhism and Sikh history, Diwali is in the Sikh tradition is older than the sixth Guru Har Gobind legend. Guru Amar Das, the third Guru of Sikh, built a well in Goindwal with 84 steps and invited Sikhs to bathe in its sacred waters. On Baisakhi and Diwali as a form of community bonding, over time, these spring and autumn festivals became the most important of Sikh festivals, and holy sites such as Amritsar became focal points for annual pilgrimages. The festival of Diwali, according to Ray College, highlights three events in Sikh history: the founding of the city Amritsar in 1577, the release of Guru Har Gobind from the Mughal prison, and the day of Bhai Mani Singh's martyrdom in 1738 as a result of his failure to pay a fine for trying to celebrate Diwali and thereafter refusing to convert to Islam. Buddhism. Diwali is not a festival for most Buddhists, with the exception of the Newar people of Nepal, who reverse various deities in Vajrayana. So, who are Newar people? Newar, or Nepami, are the historical inhabitants of the Kathmandu Valley and its surroundings areas in Nepal and the creators of its historic heritage and civilization. Newars form a linguistic and cultural community of primarily Indo-Aryan and Tibeto-Burman ethnicities. So, Newar Buddhists in Nepalese Valley also celebrate the Diwali festival over 5 days in much the same way and on the same days too, as the Nepalese Hindu Diwali Tihar festival. According to some observers, this traditional celebration by Newar Buddhists in Nepal through the worship of Mata Lakshmi and Vishnu during Diwali is not syncretism, but rather a reflection of the freedom within Mahayana Buddhist tradition to worship any deity for their worldly betterment. So, what's Vajrayan? Vajrayan, also known as Mantrayan, Tantrayan, secret mantra, Tantric Buddhism and esoteric Buddhism, is a Buddhist tradition of tantric practice that developed in the medieval Indian subcontinent and spread to Tibet and Nepal and other Himalayan states. What's syncretism? That's a practice of combining different beliefs and various schools of thought. Syncretism involves merging or assimilation of several originally discrete traditions, especially the theology and mythology of the religion, thus asserting an underlying unity and allowing everyone to be in unity. Mahayana. Mahayana is a term of broad group of Buddhist traditions, texts, philosophies, and practices developed in ancient India. It is considered one of the three main existing branches of Buddhism, the others being Theravada and Vajrayana. Mahayana accepts the main scriptures and teachings. So, this was about why and how Diwali is celebrated. What are the reasons behind celebrating Diwali and how it is celebrated in different religions too. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to know more such things about the festivals, please write it down in the Q&A section down below. Do you want more episodes on Indian festivals and the history behind the Indian festivals? Do let me know. You can mail me, you can ping me on Instagram, and you can write down in the Q&A section too. If you like this episode, share with your friends and families and let them know about the true history of why Diwali is celebrated. India Unveiled wishes you a very happy Diwali. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep listening to India Unveiled. Do rate this show if you like these contents and you really want to know more about the Indian heritage and history. This is Rakesh signing off from India Unveiled. Thank you for listening.